Hi, I'm back. I'm back. The Danites tried to sink the boat, but the captain was fast. He just flushed all of the toilets in their direction. They didn't even notice it. They're so full of shit anyway. They didn't even see it coming. Alright, I'm back from Ensenada. Now let me tell you something. I'm probably going to do 2 or 3 videos because there's just too much crap. It's my life. I don't know what it is. I don't open the front door and say to the world, screw me. I don't. I'm just an innocent little guy walking around, and suddenly I see something. So anyway, we get down there to the Long Beach, and the carnival. No, not the Mormon church. The carnival ship people that take you on a tour. Now, if you want to know what a tour is like from a 64-year-old man, you're going to hear it, okay? So we stop and park the car. Everything is cool, and I see this sign that says, early check-in, go this way. Hey, I can read. I got 2 master's degrees almost. I can understand. So I take the bags, the family, and I go down to the next arrow. And the next arrow goes, early departure, registration. This one, hey, I'm on. I'm following. It's like the Mormon church. You're ordained a deacon, then a teacher, then a priest, then an elder. Who cares? It doesn't matter. Well, the sign didn't matter either. So I went to the last sign, and it's like this. It should have been like this. You idiot. But it wasn't. It wasn't. I think the Danites put those signs out for David. So now I'm looking at the Queen Mary. No, I don't mean the Queen. I mean the damn ship. This huge luxury liner that's sitting in there. I guess for $20 you can go in and see where the Queen used to go to the bathroom. I don't have interest, but if you're kinky and you want to know, go pay your $20. So we don't see anything except this round area, and it's totally empty. Well, now I walked all the way over there, and you know I have diabetes, and I've had quad bypass, and I'm crazy, and I shouldn't have had to walk over there. Well, anyway, long story short, I said to my sweet wife, go over to that guard down the alley there and ask him what the hell is going on. Where do you register for early departure and registration? So I'm sitting there on this piece of concrete, which felt like a big Book of Mormon on my ass. But anyway, she comes back and she says, David, he was asleep. He was Homeland Security. He just sounded asleep, and he has a police jacket on. And I said, well, I don't see anybody else here, and that's a pretty clear indication we're screwed up. So we pack all of our crap back up, and we walk back to the sign, the first sign. And so I go over to this guy that is letting people off the ship, and his name is Victor. So if you find Victor, you're going to be lucky. So I said, Victor, what the hell, man? We're following that sign, and, there wasn't anything over there. He says, wow, now here's the story. I go, why isn't the story on the sign? Does all 3,000 people come to you to get the damn story? He says, no, you're the only one. I go, I know. God is after me. This is kicking against the pricks. So, anyway, he says, you got to go back over there, and there's a place to register over there on the Queen Mary. I said, really? I said, the Queen Mary is tied into a Carnival, not the Mormon church, the Carnival Cruise Lines. He goes, yes. I said, well, how would I know that? He says, I don't know. I said, well, how do you know it? He says, I don't know. I go, Jesus, does anybody know anything? So I pack all my bags and my family up again. We go to the first sign. We go to the second sign. We go to the third sign. And I look straight ahead. There's not one damn word that says Carnival. There's not one word anywhere that says early registration. There's not a word anyway. So I walk all the way back to Victor's place. I said, Victor, do you have your head up your ass? He goes, I don't think so. And I said, well, prove it. where do you register? So this nice lady from Homeland Security, when I get loud, Homeland Security shows right up. I go, oh shit, it's the new Caribou. He's here already. So she comes over. She says, well, listen now. What you've got to do is you've got to go into the Queen Mary between the two English telephone booths. I said, but there's no sign. She says, no, there's not a sign. But go between those two telephones and you can go in. Ah, shit. So I look, oh my crap. I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to go home. I was just about to say, give me my money. I'm going home. So we go back over. I see the two telephone booths, and they're about as obscure, as a mud fence. So I say, well, I'm going to believe the Homeland Security lady. So I go walking through with my family. There's not a soul around. I'm going, there's 3,000 people hidden somewhere. And maybe they know I'm coming on the ship, and they're all going, shit, it's New Caribou. Hide, and maybe he'll walk back to Long Beach and won't be on the ship, the bastards. So anyway, I go into the Queen Mary, and for free. And I look over, and I see this office, this glass office, that says Carnival Cruise Lines. I go, hey, I've walked 8 miles. I'm the Marlboro man. I can make it. So I go over to the damn door, and I go, Jesus, it's locked. There's not a human in sight. All of the Carnival crew members ran out of the room and locked the door. They go, it's the New Caribou. He'll go away. Just hide under the desk. I go, you bastards. So there's no sign on it that says when it's going to open, when it's not. So I'm sitting there on the concrete ground, and my back against the steel girder. And my wife and family sitting there, and they're looking at me like, you seem to be like a horse's ass. I go, I know. I am. I just followed the damn sign and followed where Victor said, and the guard that was asleep was pissed because we woke him up. This is the start of a great cruise. So I sat there for like 35, 40 minutes, and it became 9:30, and I thought, hell, if they didn't open at 9, and they didn't open at 9:30, and we're supposed to all leave at, not leave, but be on the ship at 12:30, I'm screwed up. They're hiding. So I go, God, I should have wore my bag. I don't know where my bag is, but I should have worn the bag that said, this is not David. So, one final time, I go back over to Victor, and Victor sees me coming, and he does one of these. I'm like, I'm not going to see him sitting on that big chair in the big hat that says Homeland Security. So I go up to Victor. I said, Victor, I want to make a complaint. And he says, about what? I was about to slap him. But you don't slap Homeland Security people. I said, Victor, get me a supervisor. You're a nobody. He says, all right, I'll get you a supervisor. So finally, after a few other intermediate people that said, well, can we help you? And I said, can you repaint a sign? And they go, no. I said, well, then give me the supervisor. You guys need to repaint the damn sign. Half the seniors that registered to go on the trip here, they're dead. I saw them floating over there in the harbor. Well, hold on. So they bring this nice lady out, and I said, listen, let me tell you my story. And I just told her the story I just told you. And I says, does that sound like a fun Carnival cruise start? And she goes, no, it doesn't. You're right. I'm going to agree with you. God. She says, well, let me see if I can do something. And I thought maybe she was going to make me 20 years younger. She didn't. I was still sweating, and, my legs hurt. And God, I'm going to die before I get on the ship. She says, well, we don't want that to happen. Why don't you come over here? So she takes me over to the VIP sign-in area, the very important person. And so she says to the lady over there, she says, the New Caribou has been having trouble. and we don't want him to be upset. We'll be on the damn video. Treat him like a VIP. So she leaves, and we're sitting there, and we're the first in line. All the movie stars and the actors, they don't get up till 11. We're there like at 9:35. So we go in. She does all the paperwork. She gets it all handled, and she hands me this big blue sign that says VIP person. And it looks like a handicap sticker, so I was just going to put it on my forehead. Then I was embarrassed because all the people around me weren't VIP. I was VIP. I'm not sure I wanted to be VIP, but I was. And so we sat there for a little while, and pretty soon they said, well, okay, all the VIP people come this way. Well, the rest of the crowd is booing me. Boo! We know you're not VIP. Look at you. You're a bag of shit. You stole that damn VIP. And my wife is so embarrassed. And my kids are walking way behind me, and we don't know him. I don't know who he is. My dad is on vacation. This guy, he just rented us. So we get into the VIP. We're the first in line, the first on the ship. And we got all of our cards and our papers and all of that stuff. So now let me finish this video with this observation, okay? I was sitting on, I think they called it the Lido deck, the 10th deck. Has the pools and the jacuzzis and all of the stages and all of the naked girls. No, they weren't naked. I wish they were naked. No, they had little bathing suits on. Almost naked girls. And so I was sitting up there with my wife, and we're watching the ocean start to go by when we departed. And I happened to take a walk, and I'm walking along where they have this, before you leave port, you have to have a fire drill or a Titanic drill. I guess because this has always been, I think, in the United States, but that cruise ship that tipped over out there from Italy or whatever, they didn't do that. So Carnival was very, very conscientious, and they herded us in different rooms, and they said, okay, now crowd out on the deck. And we went out there in 3 lines, and we're sitting there like a bunch of idiots, and they said, okay, the thing is over. And, oh, good, okay, we learned that. So I said to the guy, where the hell are the life jackets? There wasn't one in the drill. He says, oh, they're in your room. I said, well, if I ran out of my room and I didn't know that, I couldn't run back in because there'd be dolphins in my room. He goes, well, we never thought of that. He's the guy in the Titanic and the Italian captain, they never thought of it either. So I'm saying to myself, David, you got to take responsibility here. There's a lot of strange birds in the world. You're one of them. But whoever put this ship together, you better check it out. So I walk along the lifeboats. Now this is something that you know, only a bipolar person would do. I wanted to make sure the lifeboats were there and they were in working order, and that if there happened to be a Titanic, I'm going to drown anyway, but I hope my family could get out there on a boat. I'm just going to lay in the bed and go, water, come on in, come on in. I've had enough of this whole life. So I'm walking and looking at the lifeboats, and I look at one, and the propeller that moves the lifeboat, it's all rusted. It's been in the water like years. And I go, holy shit, how did that get rusted? It must have been in the water. Now I'm saying, God, must have been a need for that to be in the water at one time. And my wife, you're overreacting. It's probably just the sun and the wind and the rain, the saltwater rain. Well, you know, she's never right, but she might be this time. Okay, I'll check a few more out. Well, I go to the next lifeboat, and this is the Carnival Inspiration. Sue me. I don't give a shit. I'm telling you the damn truth. And in the prop of the second one, there's a big tangle of seaweed, and this boat is up 12 stories in the air. The seaweed didn't climb up the side of the boat and hook on that propeller. So I'm to go back to my wife, and I said to my 9-year-old, I said, you know, Allison, there's a seaweed on the prop of that lifeboat. She says, Dad, I think that means it's been in the water. I said, I do too. She says, is this as safe as you thought it was? I go, I don't know now. I've never looked at lifeboats before. Never. So anyway, I checked out some of the other lifeboats, and the ones up front where the captain can get off, that doesn't go down with the ship. Like the Italian guy, he got the hell off. He goes, they're going to drown. I don't really give a shit. They can't sue me. I work for a corporation. So I go to the front lifeboats, and they have 2 big props on the front lifeboats, and they're brand new, like stainless steel. They've never touched seawater. And they have 2 props. Well, I go back towards the back, where us peons would be getting on this bastard, and there's one little prop. It must have been 1946 that prop had seaweed in it. It was all rusted. I go, shit. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. I think they had Mitt Romney's name on that front one that was in perfect condition, and it said Cayman Islands or Switzerland, whichever. But God. So anyway, that's how our voyage started. I was so damn tired I could barely walk down to the stateroom. Now I lied. Let me finish with the stateroom. Now, why they call it a stateroom, I don't know. It's a bathroom. This closet is a stateroom, according to Carnival. We went in, the 4 of us. We opened the door up, and it's small. I mean, one has to stand on the wall, and one hang on the chandelier so the other 2 can walk around. And I said, well, it was the cheapest one they had, and my wife's, she's from the Philippines, so it looked good to her. I'm like, well, yeah, that's kind of cute. And there was this beautiful window curtain and window. And I thought, God, maybe they made a mistake because I didn't choose a window, but obviously we got a window, so that's good. That's an extra $200 for a window. So the water comes through there rather than through your door when it turns upside down. So I said, honey, take a look out the window. Where are we? So she pulls the curtains back. There's no glass. There's no window. It's a damned wall with a curtain over it. I'm laughing my ass off. Oh, geez. This is something else. This is going to be a fun trip. So then my daughter, my 14-year-old, she comes out of the bathroom and she says, Dad, the toilet won't flush. Jeez, our house is better than this. Most of the time the toilets flush. So I go in and I try to flush the toilets. Now, a toilet on a cruise ship, you have to get your butt off of the seat before you push the plunger. There is a suction there that will take a 5-year-old to Catalina Island, and he don't need no boat. It just, whoop, and you hear this, it sounds like a rocket taking off. Well, maybe it is. Think about it. So she comes out, it doesn't work that. So I get on the phone, and I said to the phone, our toilet doesn't work. They said, oh, we'll send somebody right over. Well, I've had plumbers here in the house for the last 6 months. They never show up right when they say they're going to show up. So I'm sitting there. Waiting because, maybe they need to ask me a question about did I flush it right. It just has one big button on it. How you can the retarded and the senile are able to do that. But anyway, I'm waiting there, and I'm sitting on the bed, and suddenly I hear this jet. And I said, Abigail, what happened? She says, Dad, the toilet flushed. So the guy never showed up. So I thought, well, screw it. I'm not going to sit here and wait for the guy. The toilet seems to be working. So there's only one thing worse that can ruin a cruise more than a toilet that doesn't flush with 4 people in a little room like this. And that is the best way to ruin a cruise trip is to take children. Stupid me. The old Mormon goes, oh, the children are my life. The children are my death. So anyway, I'm just going to record this one, and then I'll record another one here and give you a little bit more. But if you go on a cruise, don't take children, and if you go on a cruise, before you buy your ticket, go look at the damn lifeboats. If they've been used a lot, that makes me a little bit nervous. I wore my life jacket the rest of the time, even to the formal dinner underneath my tie or on my tie. I just rode the whole damn thing and let it hang there. You know, and guys would say, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm getting ready for the inevitable." Thanks.